I recorded in the strangest resolution ever that resulted in this. I'm not very proud of that. If you guys watched any of my last video, you know that I made a game. At least if you watched the first 10 seconds of it, that is. And if you didn't know, hey, I made a game. Link is gonna be in the description of every video until I'm dead. Because this is one of the biggest achievements I feel. I've been so overwhelmed with like happiness. People playing my game and like having fun with it is just the most rewarding thing ever. If you wanna know the backstory about why we made this game, my brother made an awesome video about it. Definitely go check that out. This video is gonna be more about the back end stuff, like the coding, how it was possible to make a game like this in the time frame that we had, which we did in less than 24 hours. We didn't like not sleep during that time, like we slept too, but we didn't put in like so much more work than we wouldn't put in any other day, because we've been developing video games on Roblox for like almost a year. I live in Roblox Studio. So how did I make it so fast? Copy and paste. Not really. No, I didn't. Not all of it. Some of it was, and I will show you which parts. Sorry for not posting a bunch of videos lately. I know usually I do every other day, and I really want to get back into that schedule. And I don't know if anybody can blame me. I had a lot of reasons to not be working and focusing on YouTube as much. Currently, 65,105 reasons why I should focus on the game. But we have actually made a lot of progress on the game. We've added anti-cheat, which still isn't working. I mean, it works most of the time, but if you're getting kicked randomly from the game, don't worry. You're not gonna get banned or anything like that. We're just trying to figure out how anti-cheat works. None of us have ever tried to make a game that has anti-cheat. Roblox doesn't really do that at all. They don't really care. So we want to make our game as fair and fun as possible. So if you have any criticisms or reports of any bugs, random kicks, please follow Good Juju Game. We have the heart, you can't miss it. Some good content coming out from Good Juju, big things in the pipeline. In the past few days, we have added 2 new game modes to this fish game mini game server. That's what I like to think of it as. It basically is. It started with just the red light, green light game, but we want to expand more on it because so many people asked for it. And they're small games, and mini games are really fun. I appreciate everyone that has actually played the game. Thank you guys so much. But obviously we didn't make all of those game modes, and we didn't make all of these improvements all in one day. It was really rough the first day that we launched. It did work, and I think that's why it gained popularity so quickly, is because there was a big demand for a game like this, and nobody was making it work. It was a very simple game, right? Green light, you go. Red light, you stop. And then if you move, you're dead. That's basically it. Like, it's simple, right? Coding it, maybe not so simple, but the rules, simple. So coding is just rules. Red light, green light, not that many rules. So I thought it was pretty plausible. I did not do any of the building because I'm just not good at it. And I will admit that right now. My brother Sketch, he built everything, basically. The lobby, he built, this is the main area over here. And if you haven't ever seen the Roblox developer interface, this is what it is, Roblox Studio. Anybody can download it in free and make their own Roblox game, obviously. That's like Roblox's whole thing. So I didn't really do any of that. I will show you what I work in. You see these pink squares? These are the zones: the starting zone, the active game zone, and then the winning / finishing zone. This is what I work in. Just cubes. That's pretty much the only parts that I ever place. I did the hats, but I just moved the model. Like, I don't build. I like coding. I'm sticking to what I'm good at. So it's time to come clean about the things that I copied and pasted, but it was original work. So like I said earlier, I've been working in Roblox Studio for months on this other project that I cannot talk about. It's another Roblox game, but it's so much bigger than what we made here. And we took some small details like the animations, the walking animation, falling, sprinting, and then there's a really small detail that I love that we took from the other game. If you have like a certain fall distance, you'll do like a land animation and some particle effects will come out. That stuff, those small details, are just the result of months of work on another game. There's a whole lot more stuff that you can do in the other one, but we liked those aspects, and we loved the animation style, so we just ported that over. And those are pretty much the things that we kept from the other game. But when it comes to the rules of the game, like red light, green light, basically counting wins, all the data store backend had to be redone. Luckily, it's not that complicated. You win, You get +1 and it saves it, and that's it. That's all it does. So we kind of had like a pretty good head start when it came to like making it like look and feel polished. Another example of something that we took from the other game is these prompts here. This hand, you're gonna see that again in another game. Don't be surprised like a few months from now, maybe a little bit more than a few months. We don't know how long it's gonna take. That's why we don't want to say anything about the other project. This custom prompt, I made this like weeks ago, and we liked how it looked, and that's really why we kept it. All of these like small details that we had in the backlog from working for so long on something that nobody has seen yet, that's why we were able to do it so quickly. And as soon as we saw the demand, we were like, oh, we have to do this, because most of the games that were like this were just scamming kids. They were just like having a 24-hour timer put up in a lobby, and the kids would wait 24 hours. There's kids just sitting in lobbies, like thousands of kids. And we just wanted a place that they could go and actually like fulfill the desire of this red light, green light game. And obviously we were fans of the Squid Game show, which we both have finished. Fantastic. Highly recommend it. If you're old enough to watch it, that is. Pretty gruesome show, but it's great. So the really cool thing about developing on Roblox is Roblox saves every single version that you've ever saved. It saves it all. We're currently on version 322 on the main build, and then we have a test server which has over 600 versions. So we've published / saved, made updates to the game almost 1,000 times in the past week. But I can go back all the way through these save pages, and I can download the very first version ever, which was made on September 23rd. And is now the 30th. It's been a week since we started working on it, but since we released it, technically less than a week. 65,000 players on a Thursday. Pretty good. Let's see what the first save was. I bet you it was just a pile of models. Oh, yep, here it is. Here's version 1. It was just a base plate. We had nothing. Okay. 2 hours after we started working on the game, the lobby, we had some lights set up. The beds were built. We had this guy. He was not a pink soldier. He was a red soldier. I don't know where we got this model. I'm gonna be honest. Can we admit that? I think so. My brother was working on the lobby, and I was out here trying to figure out how this worked. I think I had the timer working. At least 2 hours in, I got the timer working. Uh-oh. This loading screen was the result of copying code from the other game. This loading screen is not in the game currently, but it is very much in our main title, and it is working in there. This is basically all I needed to start. At this point, I had the timer working. This was the doll. It was just 2 boxes. I told you I'm not a builder. All the head did was rotate. So it would rotate around and spin around, and I was trying to get that to work probably for longer than I should have, because it still doesn't work. The biggest thing I was worried about was just getting the game zone functional. And I'm pretty sure I can show you those scripts. They're on server anyway. Seeing them isn't going to like give you the ability to somehow hack the game. It's just impossible. Most of you probably won't even know what you're looking at. I'm not going to explain everything about coding. It's very, very complicated, but basically there's functions that you can call. The functions will do things, as in this function will start the timer. And basically game 1, at this point in time, the only thing it could do is start, and it would start a timer, and then that's it. I think I was still figuring out how to format the timer correctly, because if you just give it like, oh, 150 seconds, it needs to break that up into minutes, then the seconds remaining as well. So there's a little bit of math here that just divides the time left by 60, gets how many full minutes there are, and then puts that in the minutes category, and then the remainder will just go into the seconds category. And it does that every single second, every tick. It'll do the math again on how much time is remaining, get the minutes, get the seconds, and so on. And that is how the timer works. And it sets it to the clock label.text right here. I convert the minute number to a string, which is just a bunch of characters. That's what it's called. I know. Why they call it a string, I don't know. A, B, C, D, E is a string. 1, 2, 3, 4, number. True, false is a Boolean. These are the things you will learn if you ever try to code. It's just stupid little rules. If you're good at remembering stupid little rules, then you're probably going to be a really good coder. From the time that I finished the timer, it took me about 4 hours to code all of the rules and add all the functionality to it. It took a very long time. It takes so long because like 90% of the time when you hit play, it is going to break. That's just how coding is. And sometimes you add something new to a system you have already made and it breaks other things that you didn't expect to break. One time it doesn't break. And then when it doesn't break, you feel great. And it's like, yes, I got it working. And then you add something else and then everything breaks again. That's coding, baby. I don't know. It always breaks every single time. I felt confident enough to move the clock and the game zones as well as the barrier into the constructed build that my brother made because I was just too busy. And he was also busy because it looks really great in here. I love how he did this. The mask is so creepy. I love it. I don't know why this double wall was here. I don't think it's here now. Yeah, I think he was doing something mid-save. The lobby, he turned pink. And then we have this. Yeah, the circle didn't look that great at the beginning, okay? It was a concept. Looks a lot better now. And on the coding side, within those 4 hours, I'm able to now rotate the head of the robot. It's not good code. Do not look at it. Do not copy it. It's bad code. We can play the red light, green light game that just connects to a bunch of other functions. We can start the game. We can get participants. We can kill moving players in a region, which if you didn't know how it works, it uses Roblox velocity. It checks the server. How fast is this character moving right now? And if it's more than 1 stud a second, it kills you, which is not that hard to do. 1 stud is very short. We are still trying to perfect it. If any of you are like lagging on mobile or something and it kills you, I don't know. We're trying. Try to stop earlier. At this point, we didn't even really have subtitles in the game, so it was kind of difficult the first couple days. If anyone played it the first day it came out, you know there was no subtitles. If you did not have audio, you were so confused. Now, 2 hours later, the lobby is looking great. It's looking fantastic. We have a clock timer and then some detail frames. It looks a lot different now, but this is how we originally had it. And the game mode that's currently playing kind of takes over the lobby clock, and it'll show what the time is in that game. Each time there's a new game that happens, it'll just pass the torch. Okay, you handled the clock now. Okay, you handled the clock now. And it works really good, but it's not even close. We're not even close to the point where we added more than 1 game. The game isn't even done yet. It's midnight, and I'm still working on the game. It has been 8 hours since we started the project. 2 hours later, lobby looks exactly the same. Coding takes a long time. I don't know what you guys want. It took forever. It is currently 2 a.m. in the middle of red light, green light development. And I honestly don't know why it wasn't working. Sometimes it just goes on longer than you expect. An hour and a half later, we figured out how microtransactions in Roblox works. How lives worked when we first launched the game, it wasn't really great. We wanted it to work. We did not want anybody to be scammed. That was our worst fear. We didn't want to be anything like those other games that were just having kids wait, taking their Robux, and basically providing nothing in exchange for that. So we got things working. In that last hour and a half, even on the other Roblox project that we have been working months and months on, I have not looked at the API for how to make microtransactions in Roblox because it's not what we're really concerned about. The reason why we added it to this game was, well, if you want to support the bigger game that we're trying to produce, maybe you can help us out, something you can show your support with. And also maybe red light, green light's just too hard and you want an extra life. I don't know. And we also added this table. When we first added it, it was just a table. It was the second day when we actually added functionality to it. It just was a prompt. It just said coming soon. That was it. And I think this was the first playable version ever. And you would stand in the circle, it would take you over here. This was it. It's pretty much the same. It hasn't really changed that much. I think I made this barrier bigger because we had some people getting kicked from slipping through it. I don't know why. If that's happened to you, please let me know. Tweet at me. How are people slipping through a barrier that's controlled by the server? Tell me how. And then at 3:37 in the morning, that was our last actual update. And then the next day we launched the game. Exactly how it is as you see it. The table, you couldn't do anything. There was 1 game mode and that was it. And it blew up from that. If that gives you just a little bit of an idea of how much demand there was for a working version of a game like this, I don't know what does. So the first build was at 5:28 p.m. and the last build was at 3:37 a.m. Not even 12 hours. So it was actually less than half of a day that it took to create the original. We've obviously added so much and I've been talking way too long. I thought I was going to get into showing you guys some of the stuff about the anti-cheat because we kicked so many accounts that our Discord bot got banned. But I might need to just save that for another day. If you guys at all played this, thank you so much. Like I said, we added 2 more mini games to this and there's a little bit of progression. If you get wins, you can go to the shop and you can wear some cool hats and unlocks and stuff. Any suggestions? We would love to hear what you have to say. Thank you guys so much. I will be returning to probably normal gameplay soon. If you guys want me to play this, watch Dev play his own game. If you want that, let me know. Thank you all so much. I'll see you.